great to have you here. It's been a while since I've done my last proper full build video. I've been doing a couple of other smaller streams in the meantime, but now I'm finally back with a nice full build. And as I've promised to a couple of people, I'm going to be doing my Noxary X60 build video. This is the nice X60 custom keyboard kit. The version that I got has this very nice gray, and it comes with the red aluminum plate. This is just the top side of the case, yeah, I've already prepared a little bit here. I want this to be a very straightforward build. I hope I don't run into too many issues today, and I hope it's going to be entertaining and a nice start back into the this autumn build season. This came assembled, so I'm going to remove the plate. Like, it's nice to have the plate assembled so it doesn't move around while shipping, but I rather want to have it separate for my assembly because I don't want to hurt the case in any way when I solder and place the switches. Good. Yep. There you go. That's just right at the beginning. That's a very nice plate fit, I gotta say. You can see there's hardly any wiggle in here. Nice cutouts. Great job here. Yep. You like it? You're gonna set this aside. This keyboard kit is compatible with most of these standard 60% PCBs. The one PCB that you could optionally add when you purchased this kit was the Winkeyless B-Phase 60% PCB, and I've got one lying right over here. This is one of my personal favorites. I'm a big fan of the Bootmapper client programming GUI, and I just love this super nice and white PCB. The RGB underglow is pretty much useless for our purpose here because the case is massive, doesn't have an acrylic spacer. Something that I've not been doing in my previous builds is testing the PCB before assembly, because usually everything worked fine so far. I just want to do this real quick so far now and see if everything goes fine. Just to do everything properly this one time. Yeah, so in my previous videos I've experienced a couple of occasional instant shutdowns of my machine because of overheating. I've got a nice old ThinkPad, a T430, and apparently this keyboard has some issues with overheating, and shouldn't be happening today. I've got I'm prepared. I prepared a little stuff to prevent this from happening. I added a little fan to my docking station. Oh yeah. This is a nice way to check out if the PCB is properly connected. Just gonna short a couple of pins and see if it lights up. And it lights up in Aqua key test, like in your key tester of choice. So generally the PCB is working. Might be one or another diode that's broken or something like that, but I'm gonna find that out once I've got everything assembled. Not gonna go through every little key right now. What's going on here? It's gonna be okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of the very few 60% kits that have the Winkeyless option, and Winkeyless is something I really like since I'm a huge fan of vintage cherry keycaps, and this is of course something I had to have. So this is going to be a Winkeyless build, and when I say Winkeyless, I'm always talking about ISO Winkeyless, standard cherry, off-center stem, caps lock, all the way. Good. Yeah. Let's start with the stabilizers. So yeah, this turned out to be an immensely popular kit. I think I mentioned it before in a different live stream. The group buy didn't go like totally smooth all the way. There's been some confusion during the group buy, of course, like with with every custom keyboard group buy, the production period was grossly extended because these Chinese factories always obscenely underestimate the production timeline. So yeah, we've seen delays here, and we've seen a bit of drama, we've seen confusion, and in the end it was well worth the ride for me personally. I don't know, and I can't speak for everyone here, and I don't want to deny that there's probably been people who haven't been as lucky with their kits as I have been, but things turned out okay for me. I think my impression was that things were handled, yeah, let's say, well, they were handled pretty well transparent by Sondert in the end, but yeah, I think there was a little bit more confusion around this group buy than there had to be. Most of the people that I spoke to didn't really have any issues, so maybe Sondert was just being overcautious or something like that. Yeah, main I think that the main aspect of this group buy is that the kit turned out really nice. Good friend of mine has won the Keyboard of the Month award on Keycap. Did I see that right? This keyboard pretty much dominated the Keyboard of the Month on Keycap the month it came out, and there's been some insane builds out there. Like, talking to you, Cares, I'm talking to you, Ramnes. Insane stuff. Like, I didn't even know these keycaps existed that Ramnes put on his X60, and I will search them until I die, I guess. I probably need around 15 sets before I can relax a little. Why do I kind of make it an extra challenge to leave on the gloves. They're surprisingly good for this kind of work, but they're not as good as bare hands. So yeah, let's make it a challenge. Leave them on. I hate this stabilizer cluster on the ISO layout. Wish there was a nicer way to do this, but it's just the way it goes. Okay, switches. There we go, tons of switches. Oh. All my stuff is gone. There's no foamy thing. Where's my other foamy thing? I want my other foamy thing. I only got this. Never mind. Okay, let's try this. So these Winkeyless PCBs are really neat. I can only recommend them. Made good experience with them. And yeah, they're fun. Let's see. We're gonna have a 1.5 unit modifier here. Yep. We should have Winkeyless. They have legends on the PCB, but their concept is different from the Lico PCB. Lico PCB puts things in like 1.5, 1.25, and they put in something like WL for Winkeyless and WK for Winkeyed. So this is the pin you want to have in for a Winkeyless version. Same for the stabilizers. WL is Winkeyless, WK is Winkey, meaning Winkeyed probably means the 6.25 unit spacebar stabilizer. So yeah. What the? Oh no, that's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's getting a bit confusing, and I'm not gonna lay out the modifiers down here. I'm a big boy, and if I mess this up, you can all have a laugh at me. What the? What happened to this switch? Okay, for some odd reason this switch has its PCB mount stems cut off. And I don't want that, especially not in a place like this, where we have a slot that's wider than 1 unit. Okay. One day I'll get to the point where I have an opinion on every different 60% PCB. So far I'm just happy with the Winkeyless PCB. It's neat. I never saw the big difference between all these like first grade PCBs like the Nerd 60, the Winkeyless PCB, the what else do we have? Oh, damn it. There's more 60% PCBs. Never mind. I shouldn't have started this. Just saying, even the cheap PCBs like this, the Satan 60 that I got, was still all right to me. Like, if it's all about the firmware, and I can get my layers and my mappings programmed the way I like them, I'm pretty happy with a simple Chinese AliExpress PCB. I don't need a TMK compatible PCB just for the sake of it. I haven't been building keyboards for a while now. It's so funny. Feels like I'm what do you call it? Yeah, it feels like I'm improvising. That's what I wanted to say. Like I think I know what I want to do, but I'm clearly lacking the routine that I had before summer. I really like the way this red aluminium plate turned out. I'm not a huge fan of aluminium plates, and if I do get a chance to swap this for a steel or a brass plate, I might do that and just reassemble it with a brass plate. But so far, I really like the color options that you get with the aluminium plate here. Oh yeah, sorry. Please excuse me. It's a live stream. I've come across a couple of the downsides of live streaming this kind of stuff. I've been mostly lucky so far with my live streams. There's one that you don't get to see because I'm getting cancer. There's one that was a great fail that I just recently published because I did something that I had no clue of, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And well, it's already streamed, so you can't edit it or anything. And I kind of like this. I think it's a nice challenge to get everything prepared, to improvise a little bit when things go wrong, and to well, just show you how a keyboard build really goes. Like the problems that you run into, like the problems that I run into are real. I've done a couple of keyboard builds, and I would love to not make mistakes during keyboard builds, but they still happen, and I try to find a way to fix them. And I hope this is actually helpful for you, because I think that's yeah, it's always a nice surprise for me, and it's always a nice like kind of keeps me focused on the build when I stream, because I kind of gotta get it all done in one go, and I can't clown around too much. So yeah, thanks for helping me by letting me stream and actually watch it. Like, I wouldn't be the same feeling if no one watched it. That's a Renegade. Okay. Nice. Let's see if it fits. Kind of makes sense, right? Am I right? Yeah, I'd say so. Okay. Next step is soldering. I'm going to give it a nice push. Oh yeah, one point about, like, one other thing about these Winkeyless PCBs. They have these little glass diodes here. Show you. Here. And these glass diodes are fragile. When you want to give the switches a nice push, you shouldn't do it on a hard surface. Because if you do that on a hard surface, you're gonna bust some diodes, and this is gonna be very, well, unhappy, because you will have to repair every single one of these diodes, and that sucks. Okay. Yeah, I've been omitting this step in a couple of my build videos lately, and it's also a stupid thing. Just because I'm streaming doesn't mean I should be rushing all the time. So let's get Smoky McPotter out. This nice little air thingy here kind of saves me from all the cancer I can be saved from. Okay. Yeah, I wish I could get a nice brass plate for these X60 keyboards. I was gonna build one of these with Nixie switches, but I'm not putting Nixies on an aluminum plate. Like, they need a steel plate, at least brass plate preferably. So that would be a nice option. I've heard rumors that there was going to be a group buy for some additional plates, but so far nothing for little old me. I mean, it's going to be great with a aluminum plate anyway, and you get the nice color options. Maybe there was, I think there was an optional steel plate. Where is it? Ah, damn it, I'm such a retard. No, I'm such a stupid person for saying retard. So I'm such an idiot. I think there's a steel plate somewhere, but I just liked how the red plate and the gray case matched. And I'm gonna build I got the Happy Hacking keyboard layout X60 with the steel plate, and I wanted to build that with Nixie switches. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, 60% builds are so nice. It's such few soldering points. Like, you can really do these very, very neatly and and properly in under an hour. Okay, let's play the switch tightening game. Gotta detangle my soldering iron. Okay. I think the plate fit is quite nice, like I can't complain. It supports the switch top opening, which is always a great feature. But I do understand designers who still today don't include switch opening in their plates, because especially if you put modding films into the switches, sometimes they give you a very tight fit. Especially the first generation polycarbonate films from Kin, they gave you a very tight fit before he slimmed them down by, I don't know, I think like a fraction of an inch. Yeah, like a fraction of a centimeter. No, a fraction of a millimeter. I think he went from very, very thin to like even thinner. So yeah, these issues shouldn't be as present anymore, but you still get them occasionally, that you can't properly close the switches. And if you have a plate that doesn't support switch top opening, and you have your switches fully modded, and you don't, like, you kind of sure this is how you want to mod them, you don't want to do any, like, have the option to further mod them, and you push them in with your very, very tight fit switch films, then you are guaranteed that these switches will never open again. So that's very nice. That's something I do appreciate about the duck keyboards, for example. Like he doesn't include this option in his keyboards, and I understand why. Like his philosophy. But I would consider plates that do not allow switch top opening are a, let's say, a very specific option for people who really got their keyboard game figured out and who exactly know how they want to have their keyboard built, and who are in the position and able to do like one perfect build, and who don't want to go back and revise their decision regarding spring power or springs, like lube or film or even stem. I think this one's a very say this is like a general community kit, not like a small edition high-end super elite kit. So I think it's perfectly fine to have a switch top opening in there, as it's like a great feature in general. Okay. Let's remember the 5 key. If the 5 key doesn't work, I mess it up. Shit. Yep. Bent pin. Let me see if there's more. Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. These films sometimes prevent the switches from like fully closing. So let's get this right. Nope. Okay. I got power in the compressor, so I'm gonna desolder switch properly. I got the feeling that this is not gonna be the last switch that I'm gonna be desoldering tonight. So let's do it. Where is it? Little rascal. Oh! Maybe I was pulling the wrong switch. Was I? I have no clue. Oh, come on. There we go. Solar fuse. Okay, this is gonna suck. The H switch. There we go. Yep. And back in. Yeah, I got the impression. Nah, now that we're at it, I'm just gonna do this one too. Oh yeah. What a bad boy. What's wrong with them? I don't know why they're so attached to the PCB. Yep. Put my trusty gloves back on. Yep, let that be a lesson to all of you. Check your check your pins before you start soldering. I'm just too scatterbrained to do it properly, and it's just too much fun to resolve these issues in hindsight. Like the general rule here when you assemble a keyboard kit is, as long as you have half decent desoldering gear, and I'm not talking about these handgun, like these manually powered solder suckers. This is not proper desoldering gear. I'm talking about any kind of heated desoldering iron. You can get those for like 10-20 bucks. If you get these, like you can get these little pumps that I just showed you, integrated into a very basic soldering iron, and those will do just fine. They're just sufficient for desoldering work on the keyboard. Probably don't want to use them on your electronics project or something like that. But if you have something like this, there's a lot less to worry about when you build your keyboard, because you can always fix these little mistakes. If you don't have these, you just better be careful. You better be extra careful and then avoid these mistakes. And you can see all these mistakes if you click through my videos, because I keep making them as a service to you. Okay, should I be doing this already? I don't think so. You're totally right. Okay, it's time to check the switches. Let's see. Haha. Yeah, the CPU is melting. What's 90 Celsius? Is that a lot? Yeah, I want it to melt. Die, you little ThinkPad. Chinese bad ThinkPad. Let's see if the screen is good. No, it's not. Is that better? Yep, that's better. Yep. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Looks very good. Looks awesome. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, I'm very happy. Like, air quotes, right the first time. Kind of ignoring the fact that I already fixed 2 bent pins, but yeah, found those early on. Oh, go. Okay. So when you fix like 2 components to each other, no matter where, keyboards, electronics, car, your rims, whatever, if you fix 2 things with machine screws or any other kind of tight screws, always go across. Like you put this screw in, then you go for this screw, and you go for this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw. Or like generally get the idea. You always try to get the furthest away screw next. And the other important thing is you don't tighten them all the way. I tighten them and then I loosen them by half a turn. So all the other screws that I put in can also kind of find their perfect seat, find their perfect fit, and yeah, I should probably do this. Jump back over here. I mean, this is just, I mean, it doesn't really matter which exact order you do these in, but just generally the idea. Don't start from one end and work into the other, because you could build up some tension or across the whole construction. So now all the screws are in, like, lightly. I haven't fixed any screws properly yet. There's a tiny bit of play in there, but not enough for me to worry. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the tightening. I'm going to jump from corner to corner again. Okay, now we got it fixed. Should be minimum amount of tension on the board. And here comes, like, drum roll please. Here comes the bottom, and the bottom is super nice. I think it felt like an eternity until the weight, design and finish was finally agreed upon. But in hindsight, I gotta say it was worth it, because this is one of the one of the best finished weights I've seen, and it is cute. Yeah. Now I gotta find Sondart, and I gotta get a signature in here. So. Oh. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, I had to get the USB port in properly. Okay, playing the same game here. Dropping the first one in. I want to hold the USB port in place here. Tighten it. Loosen it. Loosen it. Whoops. Am I missing 2 screws here? Screwy. Where are you? Okay, I'll grab some from somewhere else. Damn it. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Yeah, I don't think I've got any in here. But let's find out. What size of screw is that? Is that I think it's M2.5, right? M2.5 or M3? Ha! Ha! There we go. Neat. Just means I gotta get these 2 out. I'm gonna use those 2 for the front. Come on. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I'm always lucky. I feel like maybe I just see the positive sides of things, but somehow things always work out. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. That's a tight one. Come on. Stop squealing. Okay. It's very nice fit. Tighten it. Okay, there we go. I hope the finish of this weight can take a little isoprop. So the weight stands out a tiny bit, so I will have to put in the keyboard feet where they end up. Keyboard feet. Let me check my parts bins. Oh no, I know where my parts are. Here we go. Ah, damn it. Not going to use these parts. Oh, here we go. These the same kind. They're identical, right? Yep. At least look identical to me. Okay, let's start with the fun part. I'm going to be putting some cherry PBT Dyesub keycaps on it with a sandblasting finish. I love sandblasting my cherry PBT Dyesubs. I like the surface after sandblasting more than the stock surface. So even if I get, like, I wouldn't do it to nib keycaps, but even if I get like good condition keycaps, I would still sandblast them to get a more even and especially a nicer, a little bit rougher surface. It's a personal preference, and yeah, I encourage you to try it out. Oh, that's right, the Z's up here. Bad boys, watch out. Just looking at these keycaps. I can never get enough of them. I always have to check the screen to find out whether it looks good, but I think it looks nice. Like, I like the color combination, and I especially love how the red plate shines through. The red plate goes along well with the gray case. Nice, nice matching there. I think this was one of the showcase colors that you could get. Like, it was one of the colors that that were on display in the group buy thread on Keycap. Yeah, and I'm not very creative with colors, as some of you might have guessed. So I just went with this color, and I never looked back. The switches aren't quite as vintage as I was hoping they would be. You can hear it when you type on them. The sound isn't quite giving you this vintage black feeling, but they are very smooth. Yeah, I enjoy them. All in all, a very nice kit. I enjoyed building it. Yeah, I think it's a very nice colorway, getting the gray case and getting like a nice red plate and something like that. But generally, I'm a big fan of non-aluminium plates and non-steel and non-brass plates. So yeah. I think it's a very nice addition. I'm going to be building the Hedge HKB version of this keyboard kit in a little while. It's going to be hopefully with a brass plate if one becomes available until then, alternatively with the stainless steel plate. My dream was always a 60% top case mounted custom kit with a brass plate. That would be like a very nice cornerstone of a collection. But if it's got to be steel plate, then it's gonna be okay for me. This one is. Yeah, I mean, this is just aluminium plate. Can't help it. It's aluminium. Never mind. The rest of the the keyboard is pretty awesome. Keycaps are awesome. I'm gonna be doing stuff with it. Yeah. That's it. That's it, folks. Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure. I hope I'll be doing a couple more streams in the near future. I got a ton of kits piled up right behind me. And I mean literally a ton. I put them on the scale and it's about 1200 kilos. So yeah, hope you're looking forward to that. It's cold anyway. I don't want to spend time outside. Shouldn't be drinking more. So this is the only option I got. Thanks very much for watching. You make me feel less like a freak.